endless dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wonder what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning. I'm just going to go ahead and interrupt them. This is 1100 WSGI. Good morning. Hello, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, thank you guys for filling in for me. Everybody that helped us share. I know Marie and maybe Deborah, and I'm not sure who all else did. I had a knee replacement done, so I've been out for a week, but I'm back and just so excited to be here. Bill Jones had his done last week too, so y'all keep him in your prayers. It's not a fun process, but it's worth it, but I'm back. So thank you guys for joining us this morning here in Robeson County and all the surrounding counties and points beyond. We appreciate you being a part of what we have here. Again, this is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is one street over, a chance to see what's going on one street over from where you're living. And I got to tell you, I got a room full of people, so I'm not going to just, talk about one of these. I'm sure I'll have some open time later this week where I can kind of fill you guys in on the whole joint replacement process. I'm kind of an expert in it now, but we're not going to waste time on that because I have in the house with me my friends. We had Walt and Chris and who all came? Carissa. You're going to have to get on that microphone. You know how that works, Melissa.
Carissa.
Okay, pull one of those over to you. We're going to start with Melissa.
Okay.
We're going to let you kind of open things up and introduce everybody for me.
Okay.
So we had the Honey Rock Chapel Church folks in about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And I have gotten such a kick out of this because I worked in church for about 7 years. And I was like, this was the one, it was about bring back the bread. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're talking about the Lord's Supper, but it was real. It was real. At first I was like, ooh, but I remember the conversation.
Yeah.
And it just cracked me up. And so I called Walt and I'm like, man, y'all got to come in and let us talk about this because it's just a crack up. It is behind the scenes of the church, it's the church office.
It's real. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create something that feels like, when you watch The Office or, Parks and Rec or whatever, it's just real. It's situations that happen. Yeah, it's just you break that wall and you're just seeing what's going on. And to me, like the funniest part of these shows is not we're trying to do something family friendly, right?
Yeah.
It's not the cursing or the situational
No.
things. We don't need to get into that. It's just the funny things that happen in life. And so it's like, well, that happens in the church too. And so why can't we talk about it and just have some fun with it? And everyone on the show is a Christian and most of them work at a church.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like experiences we've all had that we're just putting together,
It is so much fun. And let me properly introduce my sister. This is Melissa Lancaster, my favorite worship leader. Okay, Anthony, I said it. I said it. That's her brother. That's our worship leader, and he knows I love him too. But we're more traditional worship at Madison, and my preference is what you do, what you lead at Northfield, and y'all have a wonderful worship team. And of course, I work with one up here at Epiphany Baptist, and we love that. I'm more of a contemporary worship person, so that's my favorite. But I love you, Anthony. But we tease him all the time that his sister's our favorite worship leader. But anyway, and your dad, I know him from college even.
Oh,
I mean, he was around. I mean, yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I'm from Freed Hardeman. Cool. I was at Freed Hardeman. He was there some. I don't know in what capacity.
He was there for a while.
I don't know if he was on staff or he was leading chorale or.
I think that's where he started the little group that started traveling.
Acapella and stuff.
formed into acapella.
Yeah, Keith Lancaster.
So,
And so if you're in the Church of Christ community, you know the Lancaster name because they do the worship leader seminars and they help us. I mean, harmony is our jam.
That's right.
Okay? I mean, that's just what we do. And so if you've only experienced contemporary worship and have never been to a CFC, for the acapella worship, you need to visit because it's pretty cool. Because we raise the roof, man.
Yeah,
and we know some harmony.
Yeah,
and so it's just cool. But your family has done such a great job just teaching that. I mean, across the world. I mean, you guys were in Europe not that long ago, right?
Yeah, Mom and Dad were there for. They were gone for a couple months, I think.
Yeah.
France and England.
Teaching people to just praise the Lord. Mm-hmm. It's cool. I mean, it's just a fun family. But so this is the history here. So Melissa is just, I absolutely, I wish we were in the same space where we could hang out more.
We should. We have
because I've talked to, I said, I want you to teach me to do what you do. And you have Durant Studios, and that Durant Studios is actually who's bringing us the Honey Rock Chapel Church, the church office. And so is this, I tell you what, before we go any further, introduce everybody. Okay.
Yeah, so this is Amber McLemore. She plays Susan on the show.
Fabulously, by the way. I didn't know you could act. I knew you could sing. Right? She was at Madison for a while, too. I love this lady. Get on that microphone, baby. And beautiful kids, by the way. Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
Beautiful family. I just love watching you on social media. You're so cute.
Oh, you're cute.
But so she you sang some at Madison. I was like, wow. And you've had some career stuff going on in Nashville too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so how's that going?
Well, I'll tell you. I was chasing the big dream. That's what brought me to Nashville. And I had a lot of good things going on, but I feel that God had other plans than I did. And when I fell sick, that pulled me off the road. So I kind of had
cancer
to.
survivor.
Yeah.
So
11 years now. 11 years.
Beautifully.
So,
Just amazing story. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's definitely brought me around. And so when I was pulled off the road, I got pregnant with my son, dealing with all the cancer stuff and everything. And I decided that I needed to be singing about my Heavenly Father. And that was what was most important to me at that point. And ever since then, that is what I've done and have fell in love with it so much. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. So.
And she is on the worship leader team at Northfield. So they're at Northfield Church. Northfield Church, people don't realize, was a spinoff really from Madison. They wanted to do, you know how people do the satellite churches. Mm-hmm. So they had the idea, I just love Tom to pieces. I miss him so much. He's my brother. Mm-hmm. And so Tom, they said, hey, we want you to go and do this thing up in Hendersonville. And it just became its own thing. And now it's the Northfield Church. And you went up there to do lead worship. Yeah. Well, and also, we don't need to tell all the history, but nonetheless, Northfield's got all these Madison ties. Mm-hmm. These two are part of that tie. Yeah. And so that's why I'm so connected to it and I know so much about it is because they're my people, they're my family.
That's right.
We don't live in the same city anymore, but you're my family.
That's it, we are.
And so I've been just watching you guys and getting such a kick out of it. And I watch your worship and y'all do just an amazing job. Oh, it's so good. Good. But now I do not know this lady.
Yes. So this is Ann Jones. Yes. Okay. And she plays Ann, the church cop on the show. And she also helps me behind the scenes. She helps me organize everything for the episodes. And so.
Come on in here. Good morning. And your name is Ann?
My name is Ann.
Okay. Well, I'm so thrilled to meet you because you are hysterical on the show.
Thank you.
That's the thing, guys. I guess the easiest way, just Honey Rock Chapel Church, the church office. If you Google that, you will find it. And we're up to 4 or 5 episodes? 4 episodes. Yeah, that was the 4th episode about the worship leader. It was so funny. It was so funny. But anyway, so, and you're hysterical in it. And it's just so cute. I just love it. And it's something you can just laugh at and have fun at. And there's cheesy moments and you're like, it's just good. It's just good stuff. I really love it. But now, how have you been involved with it from the very get-go? I'm trying to remember if you were in the first episode.
Yes.
I should have watched all 4 episodes last night, just to kind of refresh my mind. But because I kind of trying to remember the different scenes and stuff.
Right.
But you're the one, you've been there forever. Yeah. And, and every church has that person.
Yeah.
That family that's been there forever, and this is how we do it.
Right, yeah.
And
this is my pew. And
demerit,
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. And, of course, we were talking as we sat down, and she used to be on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
I got to talk about this for a minute.
And in the afternoon.
A polka show, y'all. That is hysterical. Where was this?
It was in Texas, located in Central Texas.
Polka in Texas? Wow.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say like Milwaukee.
Yes. It was actually a country radio station, and this was years ago, so it was old school. I played records. Oh, yeah. I recorded all of our commercials on cassette tapes, and it was an interesting time. That every Sunday afternoon we had the polka hour, and
so fun.
People loved it.
That is hysterical. Well, then we shared my husband's family. As long as we won't get into that, but they had a band. They had the Vivio Merrymakers was a polka band.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I want to hear that. So
yeah, and I mean, it's like, so we need to talk, man.
Yes.
This is like, this is so hysterical. When I got married, one of our receptions was actually at the Wrangler up in Nashville.
Did you have polka at your wedding? Did you dance to a polka song?
Well, and I did the polka around the I don't know if you're familiar with the Wrangler. There was a tree that grew up right out in the middle of the floor that they had. It was kind of like iconic for the Wrangler. And I danced around that tree with my new brother-in-law. And we did the polka. I didn't know what I was doing.
Funny.
That's so
Because my husband can't do it. Anyway.
I hope you got this on video.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's I mean, the only thing we got on video at my wedding was just the wedding. That was before we did all that.
Right.
I'm old. So anyway, all right, let's get to what brought this on? Because, I mean, Melissa, this was your brainchild, all right? And it through Durant Studios, because they also have Durant. They have the group Durant, that's just something that you birthed out of just growing up in the Lancaster family, I guess.
Well, Durant was my granddad's name, actually.
Oh,
Durant
really? I
Lancaster.
never knew that.
And he kind of brought music to the whole family, so I
didn't
honored
know
him
that.
by calling the studio that. But, I think it was several years ago where I was just watching let me preface this by saying I think some of the media has gotten a lot better. Christian media has gotten a lot better. But for a while, it just felt like it was just cheesy to me. Like everything I watched, it was either not good, like not honoring of the Lord, or it had to throw in, the sinner's prayer every 10 seconds and King James. And you're like, okay, can we have something in the middle? Just good Christian people living their life in heaven. And I remember praying one day, I was just like, God, make their better media, make their better movies. Like, we're connected to the source of all creativity. So we should have the best music, the best movies, the best TV, right? But I felt like we were putting out all this cheese. And I was like, why? So I'm praying about it. And I'm like, God, make better movies, send people to do this. And he's like, okay, do it. Like, I just felt him in my heart. And I was like, no. I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying, like, raise up people. And he's like, okay, you could do it. And like, I just kept feeling that, and it got stronger and stronger. And so, I just couldn't ignore it anymore. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, whatever happens, but I'm just gonna be obedient and do it. Yeah. And I just felt like I love comedy. I love situational comedy and the kind of mockumentary style. That's some of my favorite. And so I'm like, what if we just did something like that and just take things that have actually happened to a lot of us who have been on church staffs and just like, let's just make it into a show and see what happens. So
the Lord's Supper one, I can't begin to tell you. When it first got released, Walt's like, we have a new episode. Walt goes to church with me at Madison, and so he's like, we got a new episode. And he sent it, and I was like, Lord's Supper? That's sacrilegious. And then I was like, oh, but it's true. Because I remember. I was on staff. It's like, what kind of bread are we going to have? And then post-COVID, we're, what are we going to do? And then, no. You cannot believe the conversations that go on behind the scenes.
Right.
Trying to keep peace in the body.
Yeah, these are true stories. Like, and I'm sure you have people. Do you have people that bring their own? We have people that bring their own bread because they don't want the styrofoam, they have little packets and they'll pull it out and they'll hand it, and I'll see them handing it down the aisle, and I'm like, can I get some?
There you go.
Right.
Well, and honestly, I haven't seen that in our congregation, but because it's more traditional, and so they wouldn't be as apt to do that. But I mean, I could do that. That's an idea because I make the same communion bread that you guys made for a while. You know, the stuff that came is it
honey,
Ethos?
cinnamon,
What was the name of the is Ethos the name of the
Yeah.
They kind of started a trend in that communion bread doesn't have to taste bad.
Oh, it's good.
It has honey
Jesus
in it.
is good.
Put honey in it.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll never forget, oh my gosh, whenever at Madison, Greg Drennan, God bless him. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So I'm going to call you out, brother. But he did a great job. I remember him in the pulpit when we brought in the bread that was made with honey at Madison. And we don't have it anymore, but we kind of went through a spell there. We were trying to kind of break out of a box. And so he got up and he just kind of explained, you know, why we're going to this. And that's what he said, you know, it can taste good. It just needs to be unleavened bread.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, brother, you go. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. But he explained it so well. And it went over pretty well for a while.
Yeah.
But you have to have somebody to make it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing. All the things that go on behind the scenes, you have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. And it's all in love and through prayer.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also kind of funny sometimes. Bring back the bread.
Bring back the bread.
I was like, oh my word. But and then this last episode, the whole music thing. I work with the praise band at Celebrate Recovery at Epiphany Baptist here locally on Tuesday nights. Well, their band is We Imperfect Few, and they have original music. And so they're like, why do we have to do this? Oh, well, let's do some original music. Let's do some original praise music. Yeah. And so that dynamic goes on in pretty much all the churches that have praise and worship bands. I imagine, do y'all do any original stuff at Northfield?
We've done some of Amber's songs. She's written some original stuff. We're hopefully in the future do a little bit more, but she's,
so far. We just need to do it.
We just got to do it.
But see, and that's a thing. So that whole scenario was hysterical. Well, especially because I've been listening to my guys.
Yeah.
Because the girl that's in the band is there on Sunday. She can't be there on Tuesday night, so I just kind of fill in for her.
Yeah.
So I'm not a part of the band. And so I listen to their dynamic, and then I watch that show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly the kind of thing that they're dealing with.
And you know, some of those songs that repeat themselves over and over and over, and people tease, they're like, 7 times, 7 to 1.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, 7-Eleven, 7 times. And so I was like, you know, we wanted to create a song that was catchy though, but here's the thing, they're catchy. So even though they're repetitive, you're like, well, in the Bible they say holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty who was and is to come, and they say it over and over and over. So I think it's okay to be repetitive, but we're like, what if we took that to the extreme and the only words in the whole song is God is love? But we create a song out of it with like a bridge and the whole thing.
And she's an amazing musician, by the way, too. So just amazing. So when she talks about putting a bridge in there and all that, she knows what she's talking about. That's what I'm saying. She knows what she's talking about. Where did you go to school?
Lipscomb University for college.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Then we were homeschooled up till there because we were on the road pretty much full time till I was like 13, 14.
Yeah.
It was about the time we came off full time.
So that's cool. And if you've heard the band Acapella, that is her dad's band that he brought. And how long's that band been around?
Oh, 82 is when it started. So
see, I was at Freed Hardeman from 80 to 83.
Okay.
So, and then I came to Lipscomb in 83, 84.
Oh, yeah.
And then finished at Lipscomb in 2009.
That's awesome.
So we've got kind of,
Overlap.
all those things that overlap. And that's why I remembered your dad from Freed Hardeman.
Yeah.
And so, because he was in that world.
Yeah.
So if memory serves me right.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So,
and I want to say that's kind of how Mom and him met and kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So it's just so fun just to hear all these stuff. But if you've not checked out Honey Rock Chapel Church, the church office, you need to. 4 episodes. So have you got a 5th one that you're working on?
We do. We're ready.
In production?
We're about to. It's about to be. So we're
So it's about to be in production?
It's about to be in production. Yeah.
Okay. Can you kind of give us a little teaser? What's it going to be about?
We'll just say it's a dodgeball episode.
Oh,
it's gonna be good.
Oh, have you ever, the 9-12 bowl that we would have at Madison, with the football?
Yeah.
You get serious, man.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I need to get with you and get some ideas because I know you've got some funny scenarios.
I've been
you
there
could,
forever.
You could feed into one of these scripts.
Oh, honey. I just, I got a lot of stories. But, just talking to anybody that's worked in a church office. Because now as far as now, Amber, what are you doing? Are you working in a church office now? Or what's your job?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you working at Northfield?
I do, and I scrub toilets And I vacuum floors and straighten out chairs and take out trash. I do all the cleaning.
Are you serious?
I have for over 6 years now.
Okay, well, outstanding.
Yes,
there you go. That's who's doing it behind the scenes, y'all.
Oh yeah, there's a
God
lot of
bless
skid
you.
marks.
But and on the show though, you're the one that just wants to be on staff.
Oh yes, it is like. It's like the only thing she can think about. She just wants a job within the church so badly, you know?
It's great.
Oh, it is.
You're an excellent actor. I mean, you're all wonderful. You're all wonderful. The one where you got, well, I don't want to give it away. The one that the retreat, whenever you got left behind. We'll just leave
I didn't
that.
have a key fab.
You know? That was hysterical.
Can I tell you something?
That was so real too, because we've all been locked out of places in our churches.
Yes.
So that actually happened to me. So I called Melissa and I said, hey, I got to tell you something that might work for this whole Honey Rock thing. And we were given key fobs and I had one, but I left it on my cleaning cart and then I locked myself in the gym. So this was at 11:30 at night and my phone was also on my cleaning cart. So I was stuck in the gym and I'll be honest, I might have cried a little bit. So things just kind of happened. Now, luckily, God had my back that night and left one little door cracked open enough for me to get through and weasel my way back to that cart and find my way home. But I was worried. Now, I had noxema all over my face because I was there by myself. I had pajama bottoms on, my slippers on, and I thought, heavens, Tom is going to get here in the morning and he's going to find me like this. And I don't know if I could ever come back from that because I don't know. That's just crazy. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what I do. Not always how I do it, but
that episode, and it is hysterical. That might be my favorite, really. I mean, because it was just funny. It's hard to pick a favorite when you're doing all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Again, the whole Lord's Supper thing. Once I got into it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so real. It's just
is
so
as real as it gets, girl.
Yes, it is. But you're funny. But that was a great episode.
Thank you.
That was a great episode.
It was a lot of fun.
I bet.
Oh,
I
my
bet.
goodness.
And here she's, when y'all don't understand behind the scenes. In real life, she's cleaning at 11 o'clock. She has 2 kids and a husband and all the things. And this is the only time she could probably get over there to do it. And you're trying to get ready for the worship the next day. Y'all don't do a Saturday night worship, do you? You just do Sunday stuff.
Three of them on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 on Sunday. And she'll be there late. She'll be like, well, I got done at 1 last night. And I'm like, how are you here? Because we start at 6:45 on Sunday. So
yeah.
It happens.
So, but that's because you got kids and family and just all the obligations. And
Juggling
so
2 jobs.
Yeah.
And a dog that likes to eat the furniture too. So that's fun, you know.
What other job do you have other than?
I work in Nashville for a friend who actually also goes to Northfield. He's in charge of the parking team. His name is Randy. Whoop whoop. Anyway, he has like 47,000 companies, and I help him out with 46,000 of those. So
that's great. I love it.
It's a lot of fun. It keeps me busy. Keeps me young.
Yeah. There you go. I love it. Well, and it's so funny because talking about you being there in the middle of the night, our communications person, Sheldon Bell, she's always there at odd hours, because I would do the same thing. I'd pop in at weird hours. I'd be like, what are you doing here? And she goes, well, I'm always here at this hour. I'm doing this. So as soon as you said that, I thought, well, that sounds like Sheldon, because she would come in and have to do something for worship Saturday night at midnight, and that's the kind of stuff that goes on. These are the people that are behind the scenes making this happen. So when you come into worship, everything just works. It doesn't happen by accident. And I think that's one thing, having been on staff at a church, because I was on staff at Madison for 7 years. And you just don't have any idea what really goes on. And you have a new respect for people because number one, you're not making a lot of money. Because if you're working at church, you're just not making a lot of money. And I don't care. Now I know some preachers maybe get paid great, but the people that surround them, not so much. And so, but nonetheless, you do it because it's your calling. And it's a calling, and we can have fun in our calling. That's what I love about Honey Rock Chapel. Let me do a break because it's already 25 after. We only have an hour, and y'all filming today.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got music videos we're filming this afternoon, so we got.
Man, y'all busy because she messaged me. She said, "Are we still on?" I'm like, "I hope so," because I was booked up solid all this week.
Wow.
And so so I was like, I don't know where I'll put y'all if we have to move you, but because Mayor Vogel will be in tomorrow. Ooh. Yes, County Mayor comes in after the commissioners meeting. And so he'll be in here tomorrow, and then we'll have City Manager Ron Martin in on Wednesday, and we're just going to get back to business, y'all. But while we're kind of paused for a minute, Let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Our oldest sponsor, one that's been with us forever, and we love them so much. But Barry and Rebecca, if you've got any kind of realty need, whether it be in Robertson County, the surrounding counties, across the state line in Kentucky, they are Cross-Plainians. They've been here for nearly 30 years. They have part of their office. They changed the name to Exit Prime Realty from the Garden Gate team because they just wanted to start a new branch in the Exit tree. So it's still part of the same great team. They took the brokerage office that Barry has and the agency office that Rebecca works with in White House, and they combined those to bring you Exit Prime Realty. They've been in this a long time. They came out of different careers, though. Barry was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years up in Nashville. He brings that expertise to the realty table, and you just can't imagine the difference it makes when it comes to trying to sell a piece of property. If you don't have good videography, good photography, drone footage, walkthrough tours, all those things, he can do all those things. He is an expert at it. And then you've got Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a senior real estate specialist. Again, they are Cross-Plainian, so they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell across the state line in Kentucky and in all around the area because they're from Kentucky. So they know the nuances of all the different things going on. You know, I can't say enough about their friendship and their expertise and all the things they do. His brokerage office is here in Springfield, right on the downtown square. Her office is up in White House. Best thing to do, you know, just Google people. Barry Richards, Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty, or you can give Rebecca a call. 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. And please always let our sponsors know that you turned Cincha. And as we get back into the show, talking with my friends from the Heavy Rock Church, what do we want to unpack? What out of this, you know, about the show, what would you tell them? What is the main message you want to get across, Melissa?
You know,
we're gonna let Ann talk too. We haven't talked to Ann much, so.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to be able to entertain people in a good, clean, family-friendly way. We've got a Patreon. We would love, you know, to get some support helping make these episodes because we're paying for everything, you know, out of pocket.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, it is. But we're hoping and praying it'll just take off, and we just want to provide good entertainment for people and families, and know that it's not. So one of my favorite verses is, "Whatever is pure and noble and lovely, think on these things." And it doesn't say, think about Jesus and think about Jesus and think about Jesus. It says whatever's pure and lovely and noble. There's so many good things in the world. I mean, there's babies being born and waterfalls and all these beautiful things that God made. So even though he sees all the bad and the sad, he also sees these beautiful things. And so I want to be able to bring some of that beautiful and funny to light. And even though we give glory to God in everything we do, every single episode doesn't have to be a sales pitch for, you know, you come to the Lord with the sinner's prayer and all the things. It can just be, here's what Christians do, and here's how we live, and we love each other, and we work through these things. And we had someone, I think it was one of Walt's friends that was watching the show, and he said, you know, I don't go to church right now, but if I did, and I'm thinking about it, like, I'd like to go to a church like this. Is there a church like this? Because they're real people, and that's exactly what we want. We want even non-Christians to be able to watch it and go, this is just funny. They're just making fun of themselves, and maybe I could fit in a church. Maybe I could, you know, it's not all, maybe everyone's not wearing headdresses and, you know, dress, you know, just maybe I can just
these
come
and thous and,
you
know,
so,
come forth and do this and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if that's what you need, that's what I tell people.
Sure.
I had my boys, we had two of the boys, you know, because it's Father's Day weekend. So this weekend, and with my knee, I can't get out much, you know, I'm just doing this. That's it. And so the two of the boys were over, and we get into real deep theological conversations. I study real deeply, anybody that knows me. And so we just love to have these conversations. And we were talking about that. It's like, we're just to be Jesus, and Jesus just loved everybody, regardless of what was going on. He didn't come in and say, "Hey, get up, stop sinning." Yeah. He just showed you what it looked like when you lived in peace. Yeah. We're called to live either we can live for this world, or we can live in the kingdom that's here now.
Amen.
That's what people don't realize, man. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that people. I'm like, you don't have to wait till you get to heaven. You're supposed to be bringing heaven down to earth. That's our job, and when you do that, you show this beauty. And that doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. We're all going to have to deal with difficult things.
Sure.
But you have that that certainty, that hope. I don't even want to say hope. I'm just like, I know where I'm going. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so we know where we're going next. And when we get there, we won't have to deal with the things we have to deal with earth. The hard things, God will get us through them.
Yeah.
If you're part of that kingdom. I don't see how people function without
I have no idea. I've wondered
not.
that so many times. When you lose someone, thinking that that's it and you'll never see them. Like, I don't know. That just that hope. Like it says, we do not mourn as the world mourns, because we have hope.
Yeah.
And a lot of the world doesn't have hope. So
yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. And so I just love what y'all are doing, because it just, I feel like, do you kind of feel like we're in a revival right now?
it seems like
feel like we
something
are
stirring. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw there was something. I've spent more time on social media lately, because I mean, and I'm not posting stuff, but just kind of, because I'm just sitting there, I can't do nothing while my knees healing, and so I found they were doing like this mass baptism down in Florida somewhere, and I'm hearing about it on campuses where they're getting baptized in the beds of trucks.
Yeah, I love
and it's
that.
just the coolest thing. You see this revival, but it's not too. It's just, I don't know. It's just different. It's just a fire. It's just there's a genuineness to it that I don't know. I can't explain. So, but you just need to check this, guys. You just need to check it out. It's a lot of fun. I'm just so glad this is my first show back from my surgery. It's all fun and good stuff. So, Ann, it's your turn to talk. What would you like to add to this? What would you like people to take out of the show?
This show is so much fun. The cast and crew, we've all just grown to love each other in new ways from working together. And we just really want the world to see that people who work in churches are humans too. Yeah. And we make mistakes and we might have disagreements, but love is the winner.
Yeah.
And we work through those things, and it just makes us all stronger.
They will know that we're his by our love.
Yeah, that's
right. That was my sister's life verse. And I just,
God is love.
there it is. Back to the song. Bring it back around. Bring it back around. You got to go watch episode 3 and 4 and you'll understand. I'm very intrigued about this dodgeball episode though, because I have watched youth group events where the youth group will take on the just the church, because we'll have the adults that still feel like they can get out and play football. I'm not one of those. I don't know. Get my new joints and I might throw it down. I tell my students that because I teach at Greenbrier and I teach audio video production.
How do you have time for all the things that you do?
I just
You don't sleep.
No, I do. But this is my. I retired. We tell my husband is teaching as well. We retired into teaching, and it is a fabulous thing because we're career teachers, and so we don't have the teaching certification, but we can teach career type things. His education is in criminal justice. He has a master's in criminal justice and stuff. Well, security, safety, and emergency management. So, in my degree is in communications with media broadcasting, but my career allows there's particular things that the state they have like a checklist. If you can check these boxes, then we will allow you to come in and be a career teacher, a mentor teacher in a field if it's something we have offered. But then you also have to go to an education program. So we're both in school right now, getting our education preparedness stuff together, learning how to put together lesson plans and all that. So we're both doing that, but for us, we both came out of careers that did not really have a retirement plan. I've been a broadcaster my whole career. It's a cutthroat business, man. I got laid off on a phone call after 28 years in the middle of my shift.
Are you serious?
Wow. Not kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Not kidding.
In the middle of a shift.
In the middle of my traffic shift, because I was doing middays at the time. I got a notice. I got an email. Hey, we need you to get on a phone call at such and such. My program director did not know about it. And I said, hey, Tom, what's up with this phone call? He goes, I don't know. Well, he got the next phone call and they were cleaning house and they were just laying us off. But that's what happened when radio in its early days was local, like this little radio station here, and you had all the local radio people. But then when they started deregulating and companies coming in and buying up and you've got one host that does 50 stations, that cut jobs. And it continues to cut jobs. I had the great pleasure of getting to work in old school radio for a little while early in my career. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Because you got to be there because you were doing the show. And it's not the same. It's just nothing like what, but that's okay. we don't make wagon wheels anymore.
That's right.
You have to, and I got that from Phil Valentine, guys. Phil used to always say, and he and I worked together for many years, and he would say, you've got to understand things are not going to be the same.
Right.
They're changing. And so I'm thrilled that I got to work in old school radio, but it's not the thing anymore. I tell my kids, I come into the audio video class, first thing I said, I really would love for every kid to take my class because you're everyone broadcasters because of this little thing right here, your devices. Every one of you are broadcasting your life. And if you don't understand the responsibilities of it, it will mess you up.
Wow.
And so that's my big thing. It's not that, okay, you want to be a broadcaster? Great, do it. You can do it today. Everybody. And I mean, you guys are TV producers now. I mean, truly. I mean, what the heck? And I mean, really, you can do, I mean, you can get better.
Yeah.
You can do it with this.
Oh, yeah.
You could do it with this. Produce what you're doing.
Technology is amazing.
It is
incredible.
incredible.
I look at, I buy used cameras that were used in film projects 10 years ago, and they were $200,000, and I get them for 10, crazy difference. And you're like, wow, it's amazing what technology, how far it's come. It's just.
How do y'all shoot this? I'm curious.
Well, Shannon, who's over here in the corner, he helps me, and then we have a crew. Shannon, Aaron, Chad, and me are normally behind the cameras, and audio and video, and calling script lines and stuff.
Okay.
And then we got all.
So y'all have
all
a
the
full
talent.
production and stuff.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Well, if you've ever been to Northfield, okay, I mean, I know you're a lighting guy.
We don't do things little. Is that what you're doing?
No. Is Mark still there doing lighting for you guys?
He
Mark
helps
Carver?
a lot, and then Corey and Eli are there. He kind of taught them a lot of things, and they're running with it. And so
Mark Carver, the lighting. He's done the Olympics and
amazing.
the CMAs.
Yeah.
We actually when we were kind of transitioning, trying to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah.
He let us come work with him some, and we would
wow.
hang lights for him and things like that.
That's so cool. I
at
didn't
the
know that.
CMAs, and we did that probably for about 7 years, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And but
what a neat job! You get to go to all the cool shows and
oh
stuff.
my gosh, it's so fun. The CMAs is on ones we would do because we would take vacation from our job to go work that job because it was a union paid job and it was really good money. And Mark was like, hey, if y'all need to make some extra money, why don't y'all come do this? I'm like, that sounds like a fun idea. And so it was always just a fun thing. And we did it for about 7 years. But he's an expert when it comes to lighting.
Yeah, he's genius.
He's just amazing. And he put together what for sure at Northfield. And so that what they do at Northfield is very professionally done. It is amazing. And so it's cool. So I figured y'all were, doing it right. So cool stuff. But what else? What are we missing here, guys? We've got, let me go do another break. I've got a couple more breaks we need to do and we'll reset. But I tell you what, let's do this. Let me do my break and let's come unpack and give them kind of the synopsis of each episode. Okay. So they know what to expect on the first. And so let's just kind of unpack that so they'll know 1, 2, 3, 4. And anything you want to tell us about the upcoming episode without giving it away, because I'm really intrigued, just because I've seen the throwdown between the adults and the youth group. Yeah. And I mean, is this... I'll ask that question in a minute. Let me do my break. Okay. Let me do my break. We're going to talk about, we're talking about technology. What you can't beat having great internet connectivity. And this is something that we really struggled with for a very, very long time out here in Robeson County because we did not have great connectivity. I had terrible internet. And once it became a utility. And the electric company, Cumberland Electric, picked it up and said, we are going to facilitate this and make sure everybody has access. Cumberland Connect was born. I've been a Cumberland Connect customer now for a little over a year. And oh my goodness, what a game changer. It is fabulous it's one of those things that if you've not ever had to deal with, I can't make phone calls. I live down in a holla. And if my internet's not working, because I piggyback my cell phone off of my internet, and if I don't have it, I can't even make a phone call out. So I would keep a landline for a long time. And here's the thing. If you still want a landline, you can even do a landline through Cumberland Connect. It's changed everything. It has replaced our phone lines, our internet, and our broadband services. So if you are a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access to Cumberland Connect. And guys, when you call them, you're going to get local folks. I had some questions about doing an extender. They came out, did a site, they did a site visit, site survey, and didn't even charge me to kind of give me some advice on how to do an extender to my outbuildings. Cannot say enough about this company. if you want to know if they're ready to connect to you at Cumberland Connect, you can call them at 800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or you can go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your address, and they'll tell you, yeah, we're there, we're ready to hook you up, or we'll be there in a couple of months. So you can get in line and get ready. They've got packages that vary from every price you can imagine. They've got you can get a gig for $80. I mean, that's like my kids tell me that's like filling a bathtub with a fire hose, Mother. You don't need a gig. I'm like, but I can have it, so why not? So I have a gig. And we have kind of the gig club here in Robertson County now. It's like, are you on the gig club? Yeah, I'm on the gig club. So it's fabulous. We love it. Cumberland Connect, cumberlandconnect.org, one of our proud sponsors here at One Street Over. Reach out to them today. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. And I just, you know about connectivity, don't you? Y'all sitting around getting nods over here. I'm like, I mean, it's a game changer. You gotta have it. You gotta have it. And that's, that would be a real good episode for Honey Rock Chapel Church. That's like, what's the Wi-Fi passwords?
Oh, yeah. I know. We went to, no joke, we went to Japan one time. And we had just gotten there as my family, and we stayed overnight in a church building. They just left out pallets for us. And they had Wi-Fi there, and it's like all in Japanese, and then there's the password, and we're like, what do you think the password would be? And I was like, try Jesus. We're like, it's not going to be that easy. It was Jesus. We all we're like, oh, that's cool. We couldn't even read the thing that was like the name of it. It was all in Japanese, but typed in Jesus, and that was it. It's like, okay.
Okay, that works. That's hysterical. I love that. What a fun life you get to have. That's so cool. Bless. That's so cool. We've been watching Caitlin go around with y'all too, because one of the sweet girls that grew up at Madison married her brother, and when that whole relationship started, your mom's like, what? She didn't know. It was kind of, I was watching some social media, and I can't remember what your mom said.
Oh, because my brother's so private. We're like, and someone said, was he dating anyone? I said, well, we won't know, and we'll find out on Facebook. Sure enough, we found out. We're like, Anthony's dating somebody? I found out on Facebook.
I can't remember the specifics, but I remember seeing it, and I just laughed. Because we all at Madison were kind of going, are they? Because, they're at church. And so we kind of thought maybe, and it's just the cutest thing ever. But they really are. It's a lot of fun. Okay. So I said what we're going to do. We're going to come back from the commercial, and I want you to unpack. We've got 4 episodes, a 5th one getting ready to produce. So unpack for them. We'll let Amber do the first one. How about that? We'll let Amber, why don't you come on in here, and we'll just go down the line, and y'all can kind of unpack the scenario for us. Okay. And then y'all can all kind of describe the 4th one and the 5th one. Go for it.
All right.
Episode 1, what should we expect?
It's so funny because the first one, I didn't even know what I was walking into, honestly. We talk about so many things that we want to do, and she asked me if I wanted to be part of this, and I said yes, because I always say yes. How can you say no to this girl, right?
Exactly.
So I showed up an hour late the first day of the shoot, and Miguel lets me in, and I had never met this man before, and he answers the door, and he looked like he was ready to eat the flesh off my face. And I thought to myself, like, what is this jerk's problem? But he was already in character. Like, he had this, issue with me. But the first one, I think, was a lot of fun. We had a talent show, and it was Tim's idea, because obviously the seats needed some butts in them, just like you hear in Sister Act. Put the butts in the seats. So why not have a talent show? Why not make people laugh, cry, whatever you got to do, and be entertaining, to have people think, wow, this place is fun. I want to be part of this. So it's just about growing the church, and in a different way. And Tim's ideas are all over the map.
And you guys came to church through an outreach, right?
We did. So yes, that actually, I used to, before I was going to Madison on a regular, basis, I would only come when, and I'm sure you know about Hollywood Comes to Madison. When that would happen and popcorn was being served, I was there, and it was so funny, but that was when the only times I was there. So now, of course, I'm plugged in.
I did not know that about you. The Hollywood, oh man.
That's what brought me in. So
I love that.
There's truth to this, and there is, so I walked in because of the fun, because of the balloons, because of the popcorn and whatever they were doing. And that's what got it started. So when I ended up with cancer and all that stuff, of course I wanted to run to God and hear, I'm all you. I just want you to do whatever you got to do for me. It's just going back to that, knowing the only time I ever set foot in the doors was when something fun was happening. And there's a lot of those people out there that were like me.
Yeah. Well, because they don't have the background. They just don't really know what they're like, curious, but it feels weird. And so if you make it more inviting, it's like, come on in.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what Honey Rock is. We are a very inviting group of people. And there's a lot of me out there who is waiting for the popcorn and the balloons. But you know what? You learn once you get through the door, you connect and beautiful things happen. And that's what God wants us to do, I feel. And there's just so many different ways. So with episode 1, we're just creating a different way to open those doors and reach different hearts out there. And they're all over the place.
I love it.
Why not?
I love it. And you introduce the characters. You kind of get a little bit of an idea of who's what and doing all that, you know. And it's a beautiful setup. That's great. You did such a good job. Outstanding.
Thanks.
Very good. I love that. Okay, so Melissa, unpack episode 2 for us.
Let's see. Episode 2 is the camping one, right?
Yep. Yeah. That's like I said. I kind of could let her do that one, but she kind of did already because it was from real life.
Yeah, it was.
You and the Noxzema fuzz. That just cracks me up. That is so funny.
So Tim, the preacher that's trying to create a team and a family and, what can we do, team building kind of thing. So he plans this camping trip and you just get to know a little bit more about all the characters. And every episode builds on each other. So things are introduced in episode 1 that we come back to in episode 4. And so you kind of, Fluffy Pants or the music, the God is Love song or whatever, it comes back around. And so there's a couple things that happen that just kind of, it's unfolding a little more, like maybe Chris and Chris's character, like are they friends? Are they more than friends? Like what's going on? So just little hints of things.
The children's minister and the worship leader.
Yeah, Matthew and Samantha there. Yeah. So anyway, that's episode 2.
So and it's fun, and you kind of got the whole what she was talking about getting left behind and all that ties into it too. That's all part of that, and it's
so
a fun
funny
episode.
in that episode.
Okay, and episode 3.
All right, episode 3 is the now famous Breaking Bread episode.
Bring back the bread.
Yes, bring back bread. So there is some disagreement amongst the churchgoers about what kind of bread would be best for communion, and so they end up having a taste off basically to try to decide, and just all the funny things that go along with that. Also lots of emotion involved. People feel very passionately about their communion bread.
And they do.
So yes. And we even pulled out some very non-traditional out of the box options. I'll throw it out there. One of the options was Fig Newtons because it's the fruit and the bread together. So, really just thinking about it out of the box. And so they were able to resolve that through the taste test. But definitely.
One of those really happened. I don't know if you remember Dwayne from the singing group Acapella, Dwayne Adams. He told us a story at his church where they were trying to find a new recipe for the bread, and one lady was adamant about chips and salsa. She's like, listen, tomatoes are fruit of the vine and this is unleavened, it's just, and she was so, and they were like, we're not doing chips and salsa, and she was like, but think about it, cups, so she was like, I will buy it, and he's like, no, we can't.
No way.
Really
that's
happened.
hysterical. That is so funny. But the thing is, unless so much, I saw something that was posted this week. It's like when you're trying to hear from God, you need to make sure you're ready to not what you're wanting him to say, but what he's really saying.
Yes.
And so we all come to our congregations. If you I grew up very traditional Church of Christ. So I have all these preconceived things that when I go in and I'm studying, I'm like, okay, is this in my head from what I've been taught my whole life? Or is this really what I'm drawing from what he's telling me?
Right.
And that's hard to do. So if somebody's translating, they're like, we need bread and we need something fruit of the vine. I mean, and you have no preconceived notion of this is how we do it.
Right.
I remember one time my daddy, he served them out of order as a child.
Oh,
one time, and this is like my dad's passed, both my parents have, but Daddy, he went forward one time, and this is whenever I was probably in my teens, and I was like, what? My dad
what did you do? Yeah.
No, he was like, when my sister and I would fight, he would come in between us and start singing angry words. Oh, let them never.
Wow.
He never raised his voice. He was so just an amazing. My parents just had beautiful parents. But so he was that guy. And he went forward, and I was like, what was that about, Dad? And he said one time when he was probably a teenager, early 20s. I think he was still a teenager. He served the bread he served the juice before the bread or something out of order from what they were used to doing. And somebody challenged him on it after church, and he got a little bit terse with him. Like, well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he kind of did that.
Right.
Like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
But he goes, that wasn't being obedient to Jesus.
Wow.
And it bothered him all those years. And he was like, and he just wanted to, it just was bothering him. And so he just wanted that lifted. But that's what I'm saying.
Wow. Yeah.
That, because he was like, he got the fact that it didn't really matter.
Right.
But the fact that he made an argument out of it rather than saying, oh, I understand. And rather than being love to his fellow, brother or sister. I think it was, I don't know. I can't remember the specifics of it. But I remember him telling me that. And I was like, you're so much better than me. I would have never, it would have bothered me.
I wouldn't have
But it did. But it was that embedding of what, they had heard. And it's like, you've got to do it this way. And it's like, it don't matter.
Yeah.
But he goes, I should have just been more kind.
Yeah.
And it bothered him. So he was like, I just want to just lay this on the altar, and he didn't. It never bothered him again.
Yeah.
But, that's where a lot of this stuff that you talk about in the Honey Rock Chapel Church, the church office comes from, is because we have all this deep tradition. And it's like, well, is that, I have friends that just recently, well, they're actually in Italy right now, and they went to, they showed pictures of Pompeii, and I said, that's what the early church was dealing with. We've got an image of it. If Pompeii is frozen in time, that's what they were dealing with. So if you can imagine what the early church was dealing with, it ain't what we're doing.
Right.
And so we got to unpack all that. And sometimes, and it can be an awful lot of fun if you'll unpack it in love. That's what Honey Rock Chapel Church and Church Office is all about. That's right. Okay,
Absolutely.
So we got episodes 1, 2, and 3. You did 3, 4. Y'all want to just kind of chime in together on 4? Tell us what 4 is about, Melissa.
4, well, it's Matthew is getting sued over the song "God Is Love," and you got to figure out, like, is it legit? Is it a legit claim? And why is he getting sued?
That's my idea. It's like, and that's a thing. I mean, you just don't understand.
Yeah.
Creative property rights. I mean, it's one thing
it's
I talk
big right now with the AI and all the different, like, who owns what and what. Yeah.
Oh, buddy. I'm telling you, that's one of the things I cover with my audio video production class. I show the kids what an old fashioned poor man's copyright was. Whenever I first got to, you put it in the envelope,
send it to yourself,
and you send it to yourself, but you address it over the seal, so it gets postmarked over the seal. And they're like, wow, what is this thing? A letter? It's just so antiquated to them. But I'm like, this is how we used to do it, y'all.
It's true. I did that so many times growing up. So I was like, I can't afford a copyright from this. I'm just going to do it this way.
I write children's books and things like that, and just different little ideas. I have all kinds of little things floating around.
Cool. Yeah.
And so I still have some of those old envelopes from the 90s
That's awesome.
that I sent myself when I'd have a unique idea and I wanted to protect it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, that's funny. So I mean, that's what episode 4 is about, is kind of unpacking that, because that happens within church.
Yeah. And Chris plays both parts, so it's really funny to see him play. Yeah.
Plays on both sides of the, he's hysterical. And Chris was our worship leader for a while at Madison and is now with Well House. And again, another spinoff. I don't like the other word. It's a spinoff of the Madison Church. And that's the thing. I tell people, everybody that I have worshiped with at Madison, they are my family forever. And then I have my crazy cousins up here at Epiphany Baptist. I tease them. They're my crazy cousins. But it's all, you've got to find where you meet, where you can be a place where you can participate in worship, where you can meet God. My mother, she had to be in the traditional Church of Christ. I mean, she had to. That's what
worked for her. Yeah,
we had a conversation this weekend, again, with one of my sons, talking about a family member that's struggling with the place where they're worshiping, and they're thinking about leaving because of this. And I said, that's their call. That's their call. As long as they're doing it in love, it's like, I just can't be here.
Absolutely.
I've got to go over here because I've got Paul and Barnabas.
Yeah.
Look what they did.
Yeah.
Don't get upset about that, man.
Right.
Just be Jesus. It's like Paul's like, okay, I'm going to be Jesus over here. You be Jesus over here. And then you know what? We'll probably come back together at some point.
Exactly.
Well, you're still family.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I tell. I mean, and I wish I had more time so I could just. I really wish I could go to like 5 different services on Sunday. Awesome. I would love to go to. I would love, of course, Madison is my home, and I don't see me ever not being my home because I've just got
Sure.
My husband and I are not from here. I'm from Kentucky. He's from practically Canada. He's from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, South Lake Superior, north of Wisconsin, right? He's like a foreigner, and so we had no one when we were here, and that became our family.
Right.
And right after we got married, we had twins.
Wow.
And they circled around us, and I can't forget that. That's my family, and it's not exactly. Like I said, I prefer contemporary worship, but that's why she's my favorite worship leader, Anthony. Just saying. I love him to pieces. We tease him all the time. But he knows we love him. But anyway, so but it's. I would love to be at Madison, at Northfield, at Well House. I love what Centerpoint's doing. I don't know if y'all met Jason Ball from Centerpoint. It's near y'all.
Oh, no, I
mean, he's doing some good stuff. I mean, there's so many congregations that are just doing, and of course, I've got all the local ones here. But it's just, there's so many wonderful things. And, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing I got to remember. I've been the one that would always go to other areas because I worked out of Nashville, and you forget your local church.
Yeah.
And that's something Jason came in and did a show with me right before my surgery. And I said, well, invite him to Centerpoint. He was like, well, no, go to your local church. I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Find a place where you can play. And there's wonderful congregations everywhere.
Yes.
And just find the place where you meet, where you can really plug into the family, because we're all part of the family.
Yes.
And you will never go wrong if you just find a place to plug in and be part of the body. Let me do my last break, and then we'll come back in, and you can kind of tease the episode you are getting ready to produce and anything else we're forgetting, because it's like 4 till, and it just goes like this, y'all. It goes fast. People come in, what are we going to talk about for an hour, LaVern? I'm like, just come on in and hang on. Sit down and hang on, y'all. All right, guys, let's talk about Veterans Motorplex. Okay, if you want to, this is one of the best kept secrets here in Robertson County. It's the Highland Rim Speedway. Everybody knows that. It was the Highland Rim Speedway, and then Jerry took it over, and they are racing every Saturday if you want to go out and have a good time. And this is a family-friendly environment. There's no alcohol served or allowed. Have you ever seen that at a racetrack? That's unusual. So you can get a $40 ticket and bring up to 8 people, 6 kids and 2 adults for $40. Come out to the races on Saturday night, every Saturday through October. And I think it's going to probably extend some into November because we had a late start because they were doing renovations out there. And forgive us, I know our recorded ad last week was saying, hey, they're going to start in April. I didn't realize it was. So it was out of date. But we just want to remind you guys that you have got to get out to the races at Veterans Motorplex every Saturday, happening in great racing. It is a 1/4 mile, high banked, asphalt bull ring track right here in the heart of Robertson County. Fun for the whole family. You will have an absolute blast. They have like big wheel races for the kids. They got a great concession stand. Everything you can imagine from a concession stand. A lot of the local kids, that's their first job, is working at the racetrack. You need to follow them, though, by going to Highland Rim Speedway. They had so many followers when they took over the racetrack. They just kept that. But you'll see the banners change. It's Veterans Motorplex. It says, Jesus is Lord. He is all about the word and all about veterans, and he is just a great guy. You're going to have fun if you get out to the races. But you do need to follow them at Highland Rim Speedway, because if they have rain, you do have rainouts. They can't race in the rain. So if you want to keep up with the schedule and what all is going on, follow them at Highland Rim Speedway and check out all the racing action at Veterans Motorplex. One of our sponsors here at 1 Street over there are 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. If you need info, give them a call at 615-430-3135, 615-430-3135. And always, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. Okay. So one more time, kind of tell us about the episode you're getting ready to go for. Oh, hang on. Let me get the mic back up here.
Chapel Church shirt and a sticker there, so you can.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Add it to my T-shirt.
Official member of the fan club.
I love it. I love it. I will wear it with love. I love it.
We'll have
Thank
to write you in a script somewhere where you're like.
I would love that. We were talking because y'all had somebody come on the radio. You know, they were a radio interview with Chris.
Yeah.
I was like, I could have done that.
You could have done that. I didn't even think about it.
Let me know.
Now I know. Okay.
Let me know. Or if y'all want to do an episode out at the farm.
That'll be fun. We'll have to do
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We can hook you up. Talk to Jimmy.
Yeah, there you go.
We got some plans.
Yeah.
I would love to be a part of it because I think it's fun.
Yeah,
So what's this next episode?
Next episode is all I can tell you right now is it's going to be dodgeball, and just know it's competition. There's always healthy competition going on, so
competition in the church. Yeah.
It's a good way to settle, sometimes arguments. Let's see who wins this round.
I'm sure there will be some demerits handed out in this next episode as well.
That's
it is.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny because she runs around and it's like, where were you this morning?
Yeah.
Where did you show up? Why weren't you here? And all this and all.
Yes.
So I think you need to do something around some big potluck, because
that's a good idea.
Potluck.
Yeah.
Oh, I could give you. I've got two or three things I'll share with you.
Someone serves something that makes everybody sick or whatever. Everyone who ate the chili gets,
Yeah, always.
It's got to be the deviled eggs. It has to be the deviled eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Because we all know the potluck.
You eat the deviled eggs too.
Yeah, that's so hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah.
See, there's so many ideas, and it's gonna be it's so much fun. I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you.
And
so
tell them about Durant. So how can they find your music?
Well, Durant Studios. You can just go to durantstudios.com and whatever we're working on or doing, you can kind of keep up.
Are you still doing the music group?
Not necessarily the singing group. We're doing more like region harmony with Anthony. He's doing the worship thing, and we go along, and we're kind of like the praise team. And so Durant Studios, I just work with whatever musicians or stuff comes into town.
Whatever comes her way.
Yeah. We're shooting Jake and Shelby later today as a local duo, and we just kind of wherever we're called to go and do.
I love it. I love it. That's wonderful. Anything that we're missing that you want to share with folks before we finish up?
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Anytime. I know it's a drive for you. They came from like Hendersonville, y'all. So, or Goodlettsville, or you live up in the Goodlettsville area, don't you? Yeah. So it's not as bad for you.
No, it's not bad.
Anyway,
30 minutes, not too
so
bad.
nonetheless, thank you for making the drive.
Thank
I mean,
you.
seriously, y'all. Every time you release an episode, I want you in, man.
Yeah.
Meet somebody. So, and thank you. So good to see you guys. And we never really got to talk to him. So, next time. All right. But thank you guys for joining us for, again, my getting back in the seat after my knee replacement surgery. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the week. But tomorrow we will be joined with Mayor Billy Vogel. We'll be in the House of Course after the commissioners meeting. So appreciate you joining us. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tomorrow. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless.